Cora was 13 years old, and she had one thing circled on her calendar for months. Taylor Swift, live at CenturyLink Field. She and her best friend Catherine had saved up, planned outfits, memorized set lists. It was supposed to be the best night of their summer. Then everything changed in the first week of April. Cora started feeling tired all the time. Then came the lump, then came the biopsy, and then came the word no 13-year-old should ever have to hear. Cancer, stage 2 Hodgkin lymphoma. Within days, Cora was in a hospital bed instead of a classroom. Chemotherapy started immediately, aggressive and exhausting, stripping away her energy, her hair, her sense of normal. And somewhere in the middle of it all, the concert she'd been dreaming about for months suddenly felt impossible. Her doctor was blunt. Her immune system was too weak. A stadium packed with thousands of screaming fans wasn't a concert anymore. It was a danger zone. Crowds meant germs, germs meant risk, and risk, for a girl mid-chemo, could mean everything, so that was it. The tickets would go unused. The dream was over before it began. Except Catherine wasn't ready to accept that. While Cora was in and out of treatment, Catherine was on the phone, sending emails, refusing to let this go. She reached out to a local news station, hoping someone, anyone, might help her find a way. That message ended up in front of South King Fire and Rescue, and they didn't just say they'd help. They came up with a plan nobody saw coming. On the night of the concert, an aid car pulled up outside Cora's house. Not an ambulance for an emergency. A rescue vehicle turned into something else entirely. A private, sealed-off ride that would get her to the stadium without ever touching the crowds, that could put her life at risk. Firefighters drove the girls from Federal Way into Seattle, treating two 13-year-olds like the most important passengers they'd ever carried. When they arrived at CenturyLink, there was no fighting through gates or lines. They were brought in through a private entrance, away from every cough, every crowd, everything that could undo months of treatment in one night. Cora thought that was the surprise. Getting to the show at all felt like a miracle. She had no idea what was waiting backstage. Before Taylor Swift ever stepped onto that stage, before the lights went up and the screaming started, she asked to meet two girls who almost didn't make it tonight. Cora and Catherine were brought into a quiet room, away from the noise, where Taylor Swift was waiting just for them. There were no cameras flashing, no rush, just Taylor sitting with a 13-year-old who'd spent her spring in a hospital bed instead of with her friends. She asked Cora questions. She let the moment breathe, and then she posed for a photo with the two girls who had fought so hard just to be in that room. Minutes later, Taylor Swift walked out to perform for thousands of fans who had no idea what had just happened backstage. But two girls in that crowd knew. They watched the entire show from a protected space, close enough to feel it, far enough to stay safe. Cora kept fighting after that night. Months of chemotherapy, setbacks, hard days that no surprise meeting could erase. But by the end of summer, she rang the bell. Treatment was over. The cancer that almost stole her favorite night didn't get to win. She still has the photo. She still remembers the aid car ride through empty streets. And every time she hears "Shake It Off," she doesn't think about the lyrics. She thinks about the night a stranger decided her dream was worth saving, and a friend who refused to let her give up on it.